Hello everyone and welcome to another unit review, and today we are going to be looking at Edgar V2. Why are we calling him Edgar V2? Well, I'm not gonna lie, I really don't have a better name for him, and neither did Reddit, and this is what Reddit used, so there you go. Anyway, let's take a look at Edgar. Now, I am borrowing someone else's unit. Basically, someone on my friends list called Takabi was one of the very few that was showing up, so yeah, this is the one I chose. It's only a level 117. Not going to be the best example, but that's okay. We'll make do with what we have. So first of all, let's take a look at what basically this unit has. So first of all, Trust Mastery reward is a materia, 40% attack, 20% MP, 50% damage to machines. Now, it's a pretty valuable attack materia because that machine killer is really good against machines, really good, not really anywhere elsewhere, but 40% attack is still pretty decent for an attack materia. And considering this goes on a debuffer, well, attack's important, but not the most important thing with this guy, so I think it's perfectly fine. I don't think it's anything really worth rushing out. Keep in mind that it completely needs us to have some kind of machine, but hey, if you haven't fought Alexander 3-star on the JP side, probably pretty good. Super Trust Mastery is an accessory, 50 attack, 50% limit burst fill rate, and basically all status resistance, or status effect resistance, short of Stop, Charm, and Berserk. I think this is actually really great. This is something that I've been kind of wanting for a long time in the game. Having full status immunity on your attacker while still getting a very high attack accessory. This is definitely super TMR level and probably would end up on my top super TMR list. But with that being said, I don't think it's anything worth rushing over. There are units that can provide status effect immunity, so this is nice, but a premium basically. Now, Edgar himself, we should talk about his stats. Maxed out, this guy actually has a 202 top out attack, 179 for defense, 190 for spirit, so some pretty decent, really nice stats and an extra 50 points put in. This is kind of nice because he's pretty durable, but he also just has a, generally potentially nice high attack, which is good because he does have some attacking capabilities in his kit. Now, other than that, Limit Burst, we're not going to talk about his Limit Burst yet because that's kind of the big feature of this guy, and we're going to come back to that in a little bit. Now, taking a look at his kit, he doesn't have any magic to speak of. He has 5%, MP per turn. He cannot be charmed, which I think boosts him a lot higher on my list of debuffers. Just having either stop or charm immunity on a powerful unit, it just makes them that much more valuable. So I gotta say, if for no other reason, I really like Edgar for having charm immunity. I think it's just a solid thing to have in the future. Now, other than that, he does have some damage dealing. He has some ways to give us a little bit of limit burst, as well as some AoE MP per turn. He has multiple different debuffers that you would expect a debuffer to have. The AoE 50% 3-turn debuff. It also causes poison, paralyze, and disease, which isn't super needed in most places, but there you go. One of the interesting things as well is he can give... he also has the attack and magic version of it, blah, 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 blah. But anyway, he also has a way to give up to a single target machine killer, and giving killers is very nice. I gotta say, I actually really, really like that. He also has natural dual wield in his kit, if I can just find it. He has a little bit of true dual hand, and by a little bit, I really do mean a little bit, basically 50%. He also can naturally dual wield weapons, so that makes him pretty darn solid. You can build him one way or the other way, since he can also double cast his abilities. You can really just make a super nice, unit tab just however you want to build him. And that's probably really nice, since he can equip greatswords. You could also get some nice true dual hand going with this guy for being a debuffer too. It reminds me a lot of Orin for, just great swords instead of katanas. So there you go. Other than that, he also has a one-hit kill, not super useful in most places. Also, it's a 10-hitter, but doesn't change exactly with the most amount of people, so I don't think it's super great. He does have a hit one turn debuff the following turn, which is pretty interesting, and he can debuff for either earth or water resistance on his 60% defense down abilities, so that's kind of interesting. If you run water or earth, not exactly the easiest elements to find. I guess water for Satan. That's kind of it. So, well, maybe we should finish. Equipping his limit, or his TMR, gives 100% extra damage versus machines. He has already 100% of that extra in his kit. At least he has 50% limit burst fill rate and 2 limit burst crystals per turn. Again, the limit burst is a big thing. And his cooldown abilities, including this one, which is a AoE 30 hit, so basically Lunera, and ignores 50% defense too. It does cause 81% damage, but again, that's really great for activating his powerful limit burst. This can only be used every 4 turns, and it's only available on turn 4, so you gotta, get a little bit deep in the fight, and most trials don't seem to be too friendly to that to most teams. Now, he does have an ability that gives a 300% limit burst fill rate to himself, debuffs the enemy for 74% for 3 turns, and debuffs water and earth resistance for 100%. Okay, I think it's available turn 1 on a 10-turn cooldown, so I think cooldown is way too slow on this. And speaking of slow cooldowns, his 115 ability gives him access to better abilities, but is on a 20-turn cooldown. It does give him 200% limit burst fill rate, and gives AoE for 5 turns, extra 50% damage versus machines. Again, it's not a machine, it's just okay. It does unlock abilities, so it's a little bit slow, and it doesn't break the enemy that turn, so you're not going to be activating this turn 1, and then you're not going to be activating this for a whole bunch of turns. So I'm not super crazy about this. All of these are basically higher end abilities of what he currently has, and they're good. If you look at one of them, one of them is basically a hit ability that debuffs light, water, earth, and for 100% for a single turn. Again, here's the thing. Basically, I look at this guy as kind of an Orin that would be really well paired with Satan. Orin doesn't exactly pair super well with Satan because the elements are a little bit, different. Edgar also doesn't really work that well with someone like Axstar, although they do have both the 30-hit chaining ability. I mean, element-wise, you have to put the element on this guy, and then you're using dual wield, and is it really that much better than just, I don't know. Edgar, I think, will fit with a whole bunch of different teams. I think it's kind of the greatsword version of Orin, but I probably like Orin's kit a little bit better because it does have a debuff buff ability, which just feels really, really strong. So I would probably, if I had to choose, probably choose Orin over him, but it's not that bad. So with that being said, all the things that we have talked about, the most important thing to talk about is the limit burst. Now, a new feature with these FF6 units is basically a strong limit burst when his HP drops below 20%. We saw in the past limit bursts that were upgraded for equipping a TMR, then we just saw TMRs that were just giving abilities. Now we're seeing limit bursts that get, upgraded for, taking so much damage. Now, one of his abilities does take a lot of damage, and then that turn, you can basically just heal him up. So that's great. That activates his upgraded limit burst for 2 turns. Now, his upgraded limit burst, maxed out, is a AoE 3,300% 30 hit physical attack with a 2-turn debuff for 8 maxed out 84% wall stats. Very strong debuff. Definitely one of the strongest debuffs in the game. Now, if you haven't activated the ability, it's basically a 2,200% 30 hit attack that debuffs for a maxed out the way this... Oh, it's a degrading one. So it starts out on turn 1 of 84% maxed out. Then 2 turns will be 74%, and 3 turns will be... the 3rd turn will be basically 64%. And it also gives him some limit burst back. So he's all about charging his limit burst, and his limit burst even charges his limit burst. So I think that's you know, pretty damn good. Sorry. But how do I exactly feel about him? I think that in general, Edgar is a pretty strong addition if you don't have Orin. If you do have Orin, it seems like a pretty easy pass. That's not to say anything bad about him, but honestly, it would just be perhaps a little bit nicer if his kit, you know, didn't require him being damaged so much. He doesn't exactly have the most HP. His HP is also not terrible, too. And he does have a lot of ways to basically ramp up his limit burst. The question is that better than just having Orin, who kind of has a nice buffing ability that does a lot? See, turn 1 with 2 enemies, we've already got his limit burst pretty much ready, if not ready already. Hey, cool. Alright, so we will definitely show that off later. But let's try his 115 ability, and we're just going to take some damage this turn. So you can see we got the machine killers. We're actually, oops, no, well, we're just going to be showing off the machine killer. Whoops. Hit the repeat button, not the Celeste. Oh wells. So let's just take some time now, and we're just going to be taking a whole bunch of damage, question mark? We'll see. Yeah, we're gonna have some dead Celeste. Wow, we're gonna have a dead Axstar. That actually puts me in kind of a really bad position. Oh. Well, let's just quickly reload that, because that's a little bit disappointing. First time for everything. Edgar, I guess I'll just keep talking while we wait for the game to reload. Thank you very much for the slow load time, that one. I would say that I generally like Edgar if you are against a machine. If you already have Orin or Lid, probably not really worth investing a ton of resources trying to get him, or unless you're a big Final Fantasy VI fan. Yes, I would like to try again. Okay, well, this is just going to be really, really bad, as I have no MP, and... I guess I should have just Phoenixed down, shouldn't I? Oh, this guy's just going to kick my ass, isn't he? Yeah, he really is. Oh, this just went horrible for us, didn't it? I guess I just was playing around with my food too much. That's fine. Let's load in the weaker version. Not having a good day today, I guess. Do we have a version of Edgar that is not weaker? Oh my god, this review has just gone so terrible. Huh, Lunacat. Well, that's fine, we'll just keep reloading. I've said many times that I'm not a big fan of doing unit reviews when I don't have the unit itself, because this is the thing that can happen. Instead of just being able to show them off nicely against the training dummy, something like this happens where I'm trying to show some kind of multi-turn effect and it just doesn't work. It just doesn't. Either that or I need to try on a lower difficulty. 6 star, 6 star, 6 star. Oh, thank God. Rough all over. Alright, so let's just pretend that we didn't do that showcase and it didn't go horribly, and that I'm not running out of time to do this review. And we can't even show off his limit burst because he's not technically on my friend list, which is annoying, but there you go. So we'll just show off all kinds of moves real quick. As you can see, you can still output a fairly nice amount of damage, but it's nothing really that great. For the most part, you'll probably be focusing on just using him as a debuffer, as you use most debuffers in the game. Is there anything else? Let's use a 60 MP OHKO. See if that works. Get some revenge on this enemy. Well, we definitely got our revenge. A tiny bit sad, but hey, this banner is definitely not one of the banners that has been super kind to me, to say the least. We always have Axstar, at least. Alright, so the last one, we will just use his available on turn 1 big cooldown ability to just show off a nice little debuffing, and a new feature on the JP side is you can also keep track of how long the debuffs actually work, so that's pretty cool too. So it helps our team out. So I would give Edgar, you know, pretty nice little thumbs up. He's pretty cool. The idea of damaging himself and just taking a whole bunch of damage to upgrade his limit burst is kind of a cool new feature. Whether or not it's totally worth it, I mean, this unit basically, if you already have one of the top tier debuffers, you can pass on this. If you're brand new to the game and looking for a new top tier debuffer, this is a pretty good one to get. And no, I am not adding him to my friend list. Didn't think I had any room. Anyway, so that is all for now, and I will see you for the next time when we review Sabin, and hopefully that review will go a little bit smoother. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.